I I don't know where to start. There's a lot of things about me to know.
Good. We want to hear that. We want to hear that.
Um,
Job all the time.
well, I'm going to start with one of my favorite aspects about me. I am a part of the National Honor Society. That is something that I worked very hard to become a part of, and I did it during COVID, and I also did it when I was taking a bunch of AP classes. Um, I really wanted to also further my investment in my community, so I became a part of my school's National Honor Society troop, and it has helped a lot because it has made me a better person to be a part of my community. So that's one aspect about me that I love to share, is that I try my best to be very invested in my community, and I've always been help I volunteer as best as I can. My biggest accomplishment when it comes to volunteering is I help wash clothes for the homeless. I haven't done it much this year with COVID, but um, I have helped a lot trying to just make sure that the homeless community in the Round Rock, Austin, and Georgetown areas, like, their clothes are clean. I also help feed them every second and third Sunday. Yes, second and
Mhm.
third Sunday. Um, and so that's like really fun. I've always found helping the homeless community like the best community service project you could ever be a part of. It is very rewarding, to just help people who have less than. It also humbles a person.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll go home after washing clothes and be like, okay, maybe I should wash my clothes a little bit more, because I have the opportunity to do that in the comfort of my own home, and they have to have other people do that for them. So it does humble you. Another thing about me is that I have been in theater my entire life, along with being in AP classes and being a part of multiple different organizations. I've managed to keep up theater. It is a love that I have that I unfortunately won't be taking with me when I go to college, but it is something that I've been a part of since I was in elementary school, and it's very rewarding because it helps with other organizations in my life, because I get to bring the social skills and the speaking aspect to my other organizations. So if you are in theater while you're also doing a bunch of other organizations, it helps. Um, I've made big accomplishments in that as well. Actually, this year we have our big musical that we've managed to continue to produce while during COVID. So I consider that a big accomplishment because none of us thought that we were going to be able to even do a musical last year, especially when COVID hit. And now that we are able to do it, it's really fun to just be able to be a part of that. And on top of that, I consider it a big accomplishment that I'm doing it while I am taking 3 AP classes. Two of them are actually like like 2 out of probably 10 of the hardest AP classes you could take. It's calculus and chemistry. Those are not easy classes at all. They are very hard. They take all your effort. Like, you have to work hard, and I feel that being a part of these classes have helped me accomplish the goal that I've always wanted to set for myself, which is to constantly work hard, no matter how difficult it may seem. Um, you asked about my goals as well. My goal is to go to college this fall and pursue nursing. I would love to pursue a career in nursing because there is always a shortage of nurses, and helping people to I've always loved helping people. The medical field fascinates me. It's something that I always had a drive and a passion for, and my goal is to go into that field of nursing and also minor in psychology to help, because I feel that there is a stigma around mental health, and there shouldn't be, because that's the mental health is the core drive of humans, of our society. And the fact that that's the also most deteriorating aspect of our society, I would like to be a part of the drive to continue to fix that and break that stigma and break that that very like it's very my one of my mentors actually put it in the best words. She said that um, mental health is very taboo when it comes when brought up in conversations, and it doesn't need to be, because it shouldn't be taboo, because it's something that is a part of our daily life. And I strive to break that stigma and like join the fight against mental disorders and mental struggles. So thank you.
Great. I'm really that's impressive to hear the great work that you're doing, but also a lot of things that you're doing. I don't know how you manage all that. So, and I think that brings to another question. I see you great passion in helping in the community and volunteering. I hear just going there helping the washing with some of those places. So you mentioned that you really it has helped you to be more humble and be able to appreciate things in life. But I wanted to know, how do you how are you able to prioritize your program with all these things, that you 3 AP classes, all these programs that you're doing, and still be able to have time to have fun, your social time? How do you manage that?
Well, how I balance it, I try to prioritize what's most important to me, and what's most important to me is my education. So it's I do have fun, but especially as I'm approaching graduation, I have found that I put a lot more time into my studying instead of having fun, because I'm in the last stretch of this race. So I've also, what I do is I try to make sure that every other day, and sometimes it's only been one day a week, I try to make sure I at least have an hour to like a 2 hour break of just not don't worry about school. Now that is hard because I worry about school and my education all the time, but I try to make sure that every other day, or like I said, sometimes it's just one day out of the whole week, that I just set aside to just be with myself or be with friends and family and just relax and not stress and just have fun. Also, what has really helped is waking up early. I get a lot more done, that so that when the evening time does come, or when a fun opportunity um, like opens itself up, I'm able to take that opportunity and have fun, because I've woken up early and I've gotten all that I need to get done for the day done, and I can set aside that. Um, that also comes with the help of having a calendar, like having a calendar to schedule out what I need to get done on certain days, my deadlines, um, when, oh, this person would like to hang out with me on this day at this time, but I can't because I'm doing this. So I'll move it to a different time, but I try not to cancel it out completely. So it is a balancing act. It is an intense balancing act, but I feel like it's manageable. Um, it also helps, if you're I'm still getting better at time management, but it also helps to know yourself and to know what you can and can't handle. If you know that you cannot handle so many things on your plate and being able to balance social life, maybe take some things off your plate and just do a little bit less. But if you are able to have that much, just know your limit. That's one thing I have learned in my academic career, is knowing my limit and not overworking yourself, and try to make sure that you do your best. Yes, try to put others before yourself as much as you can, but if it's starting to really affect you, make sure that you take time for yourself to just, okay, analyze, look at what you have going on and make sure that nothing is like overpowering another thing. And it's really, I'm gonna put it in simple words a little bit. It's really about how well you know yourself, and that determines how well you can balance it. I learned this year that I work well in environments where other people are there. So I noticed that, okay, if it's not other people and I can't get around other people, I need to have music in the background. I need to have some sort of noise in the background for me to get things done. And I learned that about myself. And I learned that when I have something in the background happening, I get a lot more done, which means I have a lot more time to have some fun. So it really is knowing yourself and how well you can handle things. I also learned throughout the pandemic that I struggle with anxiety. So I learned that some things I do, like I took off, I actually dropped out of a show this year because I realized that my mental health was not in the right, I wasn't in the right headspace to do it all. So the fact that I knew myself and I was able to know myself to the point where I was able to remove something off my plate, I was still able to balance everything I had, but just with one less thing. So it really is having the ability to balance all of the organizations and all of this stuff along with a social life. It really is how well you know yourself and how much you can and cannot handle.
Great. That's a very, very good great advice. Actually, I'm feeling like I'm also learning a lot from your from your explanation about this, because I think everybody, with all these programs, with all these activities, because I see you have programs at school, you have programs out of school, still be able to manage and do it to the best of your ability. I think that's a great input there. I see we have Dennis also in the room, and I think I saw Stephanie. Is Stephanie there? I think I saw you. But that's fine. If she comes in, that's all right. I know she's logging in from the other class. I'm going to come back to Adriana with the follow-up question from your conversation. But I think for now, I want to introduce Dennis. Dennis is also a senior this year. And I think Dennis, I've known him for a long time, since he was a small boy. But I've seen him grow to be a very responsible and very focused young man. I think when that was almost when he was 9 years old, he organized to do a shoe drive. He took a trip to Kenya with his family. So when he was there, he saw a lot of great need among the kids and even some of the schools he visited. So when he came back, he did a shoe drive and he collected over 600 pairs of shoes, raised a bunch of money and money to buy some of the items for some of the schools that he visited at Mukuru. And I think since that time, he's grown to be more organizing more events. I've seen he's gone to Asia. Dennis, in a couple of years, they raised over, I think 2 years ago, they raised over $10,000 for a mission trip in Kenya, where the money was helped to put up 2 classrooms. Dennis has been very involved in the mentorship program. Even participating in our mentorship program since we started almost 4 years ago, and also being able to keep up with his mentor. Dennis also has been involved, especially during the COVID. He volunteered a bunch of hours distributing food and PPE materials every Saturday. I think he did it for almost 3 or 4 months. That he was even recognized by the organization doing that. And also being a great role model just in the community as a young man. So we're so proud of Dennis. I will let Dennis introduce himself and maybe tell us something about himself and maybe anything that he would feel like would be good for this. This is the time for you, Dennis, to introduce yourself.
Oh, no, that was a good introduction. My name is Dennis. I'm a senior at Hazelwood Central High School, and I'm also a incoming freshman at Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, as a health science major. And I've been part of Botendo for Africa since I was 9 years old, and since I've been part of it, I have grown, like as Jeffrey said, in like tremendous ways. As I used to be a very like shy person, but through like the mentorship of like Botendo for Africa and Jeffrey, he's helped me to be more broadened person in like the community. And honestly, I wouldn't be like the person I am, or even be in the position I am without Botendo for Africa. So I applaud you guys for that. And yes, so if you guys have any questions, I'm always available, especially with high school. I think high school is like the 4 years. What it goes by so quick. I never thought about it. When everyone says high school goes by fast, it actually does go by fast. And as Adriana says, like yourself, you yourself will push yourself to like uh the position that you want to be. So as you're like going through middle school and high school, just always have that focus and that vision on like on what you want to do, and always be not only while also having that focus, always be ready for change, because sometimes there's change that will happen in your life that may be for the better. So always have that focus in your life as you continue like in your education.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate even hearing that. And I'm going to do a question here that we're going to go back to both of you. And I think when Stephanie step in, I will let you, I don't know if she's there. But this one, it looks like it goes like this. What do you do in what did you do in high school that you are proud of? And what are the toughest decisions you ever made in high school? We can start with you, Dennis.
I have a lot. I think one of like my most proudest accomplishments or achievements was during like the start of COVID was partnering up with like the Urban League of St. Louis, and having that organization that was helping the community during a time of need. I think it's been something that I've really been like happy with, because I was able to not only help people, but I was also connect with a lot of people in the community, and being able to like learn more things about organizations around me as well. And also like networking with the people who I met during the Urban League, which has honestly like helped me a lot during my senior year as well. So I think one of my most accomplishments is like working with the Urban League. And based on my toughest decision, I think it's also might have to be like cutting off like the things like distractions. For me, I had like a lot of distractions in my life, because when I started freshman year, I had a 3.4 GPA. So, and it was like it took a long. I mean, it didn't take that long to go back to my current 4.0. But I think cutting the distractions, such as like the friends I hanged out with, like they were a lot of distractions. So I think losing the friends that I had since 6th grade, and try to focus in my main goal of like going to college, was like the hardest thing, was like losing the friends I had. But I think at the end of it, I do look back and say that I'm proud of it, because at the same time it helped me grow as a person, and also helped me to not only it's helped me with a lot of accomplishments as a senior as right now, because I was able to be like get into like 30 schools, and I honestly, when I look back, I don't think I regret anything, because I feel like everything happened for a reason for me. So I think that's what I have to say about the question.
No, that's great, Dennis. You've actually mentioned a very important part, which is a very, very difficult decision for most of the people, especially young people, do when it comes to uh, cutting off some friends. You feel like you really need these friends, and you really need their time, and feeling like you're missing out because they are talking all the things that they're doing and you're not doing it because you're busy doing with your schoolwork or other clubs. But mentioning that you are not regretting, you don't feel any regrets, because if you did not cut some of those ties, then you will not be able to share some of the great success that you've made over time. And then I think that's a great lesson to share with for people to be able to pick up from there. Maybe we can go to Adriana. What did you do in high school that you're proud of, and what are the toughest decisions that you have made?
Something I am very proud of. So I served as a treasurer for one of the groups I'm a part of. I'm a part of the Arcanets with Pi Omega Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. And it was last fall, so it was still like later, it was still the beginning of COVID, but our president was not, she was out of it. She was very, like, she had came down with COVID. So I stepped in as kind of like an interim president, and I basically led and organized a drive of for female products, hygiene products, and we basically made like gift bags and like little like hygiene product baskets. They were more like baskets than bags to give out to. I think we made over 250, if I remember correctly, 250 over 250 baskets for homeless in our area, in the Austin and Round Rock area. And that's something I'm very proud of, because it had been a while since I had ever organized something to that large of a scale. And so I'm very proud that I got the chance to do that, especially at that time I was still getting the works of everything being virtual. So that's something I'm very proud of, because I know that I helped my community. I also got to meet a lot of new people that I have never met, and I'm an outgoing person, but I'm also a shy person at the same time. So I felt like just getting to know different people and people I have never heard of, never met, that was a good experience for me, and I'm very proud of it. Especially just being able to organize something like that just to help my community. I would have to say the toughest decision, I'm on the same page as Dennis. I had to cut off some friends. Some friends I cut off because they were just not good for me. Some of them were just toxic and very judgmental, and it was just that I had to cut them off, because I realized that they were only going to drag me down. I also cut off some friends. I essentially cut off almost all of my friends from freshman year back. Some of them I'm still acquaintance with, because some of us are still all in theater and in certain organizations together, but majority of them I had to just cut off, because I realized that I was spending more time wanting to hang out with them and have fun with them, to the point where it was a distraction from my work. And it didn't click for me until my GPA dropped. It dropped by only like point 4, but it still was a lot for me, because how my school does their GPA, it does take a lot for your GPA to drop even by 0.1. So as I noticed my grades were starting to drop, I noticed that I was spending too much time with friends, spending too much time on Instagram and watching TV and just sleeping, that I realized that I was slacking. So cutting off those distractions, actually that was along with cutting off friends, that was the hardest decision I made, because I am a big TV watcher. So the fact that I haven't watched TV in a very long time, unless it's with my family. Like that's my only like really time I watch TV now, is when I'm watching it with my family, and it's like I'm taking a break from school. But other than that, it's like cutting off those distractions was the hardest decision. It really was, because but I know that there was a reason for it. I know that there is a reason that happened, because after that, I am back at a 4.0. I am back at doing really good in my classes. I'm fine. Like, as I said earlier, I'm getting a lot more done by not just watching TV or on Instagram. And so it was hard, but I know that it was worth it, because I know that by the time I get to college, I've already got set habits of just how I need to function to get things done. So again, I'm with Dennis. It's all worth it, because there was a reason for me to lose those friends and lose those distractions. There is a reason, and there's just something greater for me in my future, and I can't get there if I didn't cut off those distractions.
Wow, no, that is really, really, really good statement that you finished. You actually summarized up there. You cannot be able to get where you want to go if you don't actually make those tough decisions. And I think that is a big challenge for most of the young people. Focusing too much on the now, as opposed to now the life that you're gonna live. Because I think for the most of the time, if you are between maybe the age of 14 to 19, the way you spend your time would really have a big impact on how you're gonna live your life 20 years to the time that you leave this world, maybe to the entire life. And those 4 years, I'll call it more 4 or 5 years, is very critical, based on how you spend your time. If it's time in the TV, it's time with too much with friends, time on social media, then that will have a very big impact on the life that you will be able to live from 20 years to maybe 70, 80, 90 years or 100 years. So it all depends on what your priority is. If your priority to spend more time with the 4 years and then suffer for the 40 years, I think they always say, there is a quote that says, you better suffer now and enjoy life later than enjoy now and have a long life of challenges of life. It's a tough decision that I wish every young person in the audience, or every person who will be able to listen to this, will be able to see life beyond 18 years old, 20 years old. And now when you see that, you'll be able to prioritize and maybe to make that tough decision, because you're not going to be a young person forever. But those few years that you make that decision, you want to make a big impact. So, and I know Dennis might be helping out, but before then, I want to ask you, Dennis, but we'll come back to you, Adriana. Looking back 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, what would you do differently, and what are some of your regrets from your high school or middle school? Maybe if you're given a chance, and we take you, Dennis and Adriana, 4 years back, what would you do different? Dennis, you can go first.
For me, I think while also being in school is like a part of like you're trying to build your life and your education as well. I think also having a side to yourself as well, because I feel like as for me, I wasn't like I'm like very antisocial. Like I like to stay to myself, and I'm very nonchalant. So I feel like as a high schooler and also middle school, I feel like if I had to go back, is to join those clubs and do those the extracurricular. Even though I did a lot outside of school instead of doing more of inside, in order to like not only build more friends but also like continue like build like confidence as well. So I think my biggest regret, I think, is for all like high schoolers and all middle schoolers. I think go to those dances, go to those like I don't know, something to do with your school. Like never go back when you're older, and regret the fact that you didn't have that one time that you could have went and done that at club or went to that dance. I feel like even though sometimes they may have like that bad rep, I feel like is that one time or a couple of times as a student that you're able to enjoy. Because I feel like you gotta enjoy life as well. While you're also in school, you might as well enjoy the perks of it. So just go to those dances, do those clubs, and it builds character as well. But also, it looks very good on your resume and also your university, especially when you apply that. The fact that you did those clubs and you did a lot in school. So more as like continue to like be focused in education. Also have those extracurriculars in school as well, and also have fun as well, because I feel like these 4 years, they go by really fast, and especially when you're like at the end, you look back, you want to look back and say, I did it. Like I did, while I did do good in school, I did do something that was also for myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you relate, you relate.
No,
So
that makes sense. That does makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So it's very important to, and I think that I like the way what you mentioned, that being in the club, it's important. It's I think people always think that confuse having hanging out with friends and being in club is the same thing. I think that's very different, because being clubs, it is a lot of social life. I mean, what I call life skills that you're able to learn. How do you build teamwork? How do you be able to be patient? How do you deal with stress and communication skills that comes with it? So having those clubs, and I think that they put them in for purpose, and that's why even when you apply for scholarship in college, they want to look at that, because they don't want to how they want to look how good you are in playing soccer, but how are you be able to were you able to be consistent in the game? That means, if as long as you are in the game, that means there is a lot of life skills that you have learned through that club. And I'm glad that you mentioned that it's a critical skills to be able to, or programs to be able to learn when you are young. How much time do you have, Dennis, for us? I don't know. You had mentioned about your time. What?
15,
Okay, that's
about
fine.
15 minutes.
All right, fine. That's fine. I'm gonna come back to you, but I'll let I'm gonna Adriana answer that question. Some of the regrets and maybe things that you would do differently. Adriana.
I try not to have any regrets, but my one regret is not taking the time to build my time management skills and organization skills early on. I've become more organized and have grown to have more time management skills. But I feel that if I had started working on those skills like my freshman year and my sophomore year, I would be a little, I feel like I am better off now, but I also feel like I would be even better as a senior, because there are some things that I still struggle with when it's coming to my school, the college I'm going to, and scholarships. I feel that if I had worked on my organization and time management skills early on, and paid more attention to when and where, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why early on, I feel that I would have been better off. And I think that that's something like, as you guys are going, you middle schoolers are going into high school, or if you already are in high school, that's something, take the time to sit down and look in front of a planner and like, okay, what do I have for today? What do I have for this week? And it doesn't have to be a planner, but something just to keep you organized and to know how your week's gonna go. And also, like Dennis said earlier, be open for change, but also be mindful that you have a goal that you want to accomplish. And the only way that you typically can accomplish that goal is if you are pretty organized in what's going to happen. So, yeah.
Awesome. No, I really love that. And you mentioned that, and I wish that everybody who was listening would be able to pay attention to that. That skills of time management, it's very important to build it very early, because it does not only help you when you're young, but it follows you throughout the year. If you are able to build it very early, even people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, if they don't have that time management, it affects them either as a family person, as an employee, as a business owner. time management is actually something that is very critical. And the earlier you're able to build those skills, the better. Which also brings to the point, the next part of the question about with all this happening around with the young people, challenges of mental health is a big challenge. And you mentioned at the beginning, Adriana, maybe because of the stress, maybe because of some conflicts at home, and maybe misunderstanding with the parents, which is a common thing. Parents may have different perspective from the way you see it, or maybe different priorities because of maybe the way they see it, and also maybe thinking that they are not consulting you on some of the major decisions that you're making. So my question is, how do you manage those child stress? How do you keep your mental health a little bit out of this stress that comes from all these challenges that our young people that are going through? Yeah. Maybe we can get with Daniel. We can start with Daniel.
Like for me, I know it might sound weird, but I don't know. Whenever I ever deal with stress, normally I listen to music. Uh, like I just tune out and put headphones and listen to music, or go in my car and go for a long drive. I feel like you find, as you get older, you find things that like help you, like make you happy. So if you have that one thing in your life that makes you happy, find that as a place of closure. I mean, something to do whenever you're down, because again, like high school, it is kind of hard and it gets stressful, especially as you grow as a junior and a senior. But I think having those time for yourselves, whether it's running or taking time off to listen to music or use your phone, I feel like it's good, because you're able to tune out the things like from your work, because it gets very stressful. And if you just always on the books, you start to like, I don't know, you start to get like not stressed, but like stressed out over stuff that you know you again, you want to be focused on your education, but having those times where you can time out and listen to the music or do things that make you happy, it helps you. Because for me, like these like the last couple of months, with like trying to make sure I go to a good school with like no debt, it was just like that remembrance of like, oh man, the stress. But I used to just tune off and like listen to music for an hour, and after that I'll get back to whatever I was doing. And honestly, it really did help me as well, because it helped me to like calm down, and it also helped me improve more of my work ethic as well, because especially when applying to these colleges, like it's no joke. Like it's hard, but having like that time to have a timeout for myself, it helped me be more like active in applying for these my colleges and scholarships. So have those times where you're like a timeout for yourself, because at the end it will also help you like more of your drive as well as you work towards the goal that you want.
Awesome. That is great. That's great. Adriana.
For me, I do a lot of different things. One of the main ones that, especially in my senior year, that I've gravitated to a lot is I'll step back for about 30 minutes to an hour, and I will go in a nice space where I won't really be interrupted or bothered, and I will either have a dance party in my room, or I will just sing. Singing has always been my way to cope, has always been my way to calm down. And so sometimes I'll just have like mini concerts between me and, you might laugh at this, me and my stuffed animals. It's just me, and or just just the air, and I'll just sing and I'll just dance it out, get like just shake it off. And when I get back and sit back down in front of my work, I'm able to accomplish it, because it's like, okay, I'm fine, I'm stress free. And it just helps. It's different for everyone, but just, if, like Dennis said, if you're able to find that 30 minutes to an hour to just back away from your work and just take a moment, take a deep breath before you start panicking, because I'm still learning to take deep breaths and step back before I start panicking. But if you are able to have that, it is very helpful. It's just like step back, reevaluate, and just know that it's all going to be okay. Even when it feels like it's not, it's going to be okay.
No, that's you guys, both of you have raised a very good point, which is that knowing yourself, and then know, because you can know, you can, unless you know yourself, you can't know when you're really stressed out. And also something else that you mentioned is that finding something that you love and you're able to do it. Because if you also don't have something that you love, then it's going to be hard to find something that will bring the happiness that you're looking for. And I think what you mentioned is that for me, I would say an example for me, I love biking. If I'm stressed up, I can go for bike and get my music, and I get I can go for hours, 4 hours, 5 hours biking the bike. And when I come back, I'm fresh. I feel like I'm really, really fresh. I don't mind if it's evening, it's very early in the morning, at 6 in the morning. I can do that because that's how I build my mind. That's how I clean up my mind and get my. You just do like meditating when you're doing the bike. So the thing is, and I think Dennis and you mentioned is that whatever you do, make sure that you're not doing something that will also have contribute to another problem. Because sometimes you may, okay, I'm stressed up. I need to go and get some drink. Some people they go drink. Some people they go eat. You just stressed up, and then you find yourself you're eating too much junk. So you might not be able to solve you're actually solving an immediate problem, but you're creating a bigger problem down the line. So the only thing to do is you find something that whatever you do, whatever stress you're doing, do it something that you know it's going to give a positive impact other than something that will give a negative impact. I mean, and that's how I do. If you ask me I can ride for bikes. When I come back, I have done exercise, I have listened to music, I have listened to inspiration music, videos and talks. So at the end of the day, I've gained much. If you're dancing like you say, at the end of the day, you've done exercise, you've done fit, you've learned some music. If it's learning some African music, you're connecting to your culture. So you have now regrets for whatsoever the decision that you make. So I know Dennis will have a few minutes, but I wanted you to address this point, Dennis. As an immigrant youth, there are so many challenges that we face at home, we face in the community, and even at school. What advice would you give to other students, and what advice would you give to the parents, and what advice would give you to the community? So I know you have a few minutes, but I wanted you to talk about the challenges, but at the same time, I see you have a great connection with your African heritage. Being proud of being African heritage is something that I see coming out very clear with you. Why do you connect to that? Why is it important? And what advice would you give to our students and parents and the community?
Oh,
I know
yes, sure.
so many questions condensed to one question. Feel free to address it however you want.
Um, for me, and I think it's just an advice for everybody. I feel like it's just to be yourself. Just be yourself. I feel like God didn't give us God gave us an identity, certain identity for a reason, and we're supposed to use that identity to not only for ourselves but also to help the people around us. So I feel like just being yourself is something that will help you in down the line as well. Because that's how I feel as myself. Because I will always be myself. Like I take my Kenyan heritage whenever I go to school, whenever I go home. I feel like that's my identity. I can't change it. So just being myself is something that I held to because that's the way I was born, so I can't change it. So just being yourself will like take you far because I feel like in today's society a lot of people will try to hide away that they're Kenyan or the fact that the parents are Kenyan. So but I don't feel like that's something that you should be hiding. I think it's something that you should be proud of because there's so many people that wish they had a certain we're born in a certain way, like having that second language they know, or having the parents that are from a different country, which I'm proud of, because I feel like I'm unique. So that's what I see as you're a unique person, being like a Kenyan American. So just always be yourself, and whenever you go to school, I'm not, show your heritage, show that you're Kenyan, because people like a lot of people love knowing other people's heritage. Because when I go to school, everybody asks me, "Oh, Dennis, you're Kenyan. Oh, tell us how life is there," because I feel like a lot of people here, they enjoy learning about other countries' cultures. So just be yourself, and be proud that you're Kenyan, because I feel like it's a plus, because not only that, it also showing that also shows when you're applying to colleges as well, because it shows your identity is different as well, because a lot of colleges are looking for these African Americans or Africans in general. So having that I think that was one of the pluses that I got during my admissions as well, because I stood out because I was able to speak another language. I was born in another country, and also, as Jeffrey said, going to these missions and helping the Kenyan community, it helped me more broaden my profile and my resume to like get into college. So again, just be yourself and like do the things that will like not only help you but also um continue to like build your personal trait as well. That's what I have to say about that.
Wow, wow. No, that's really, really, really good. But before you go, I wanted you to answer this question, in whatever how brief it is. What are you looking forward to the most in the next phase of your life?
I think for me it's continued growth. I feel like each year I grow in a different way, in a different mental way. So, like for me, I want to continue to grow more confident in myself as well. Continue to be able to speak to more people the way I'm speaking right now. Like I want to continue to be able to have like that conversation. So in the next couple of years, I want to be able to like get my associate's degree and then continue to go to my master's as well. So I just want to continue growth. I feel like each year you grow another year. I want to grow not only in age but also like in mind and spirit, because I feel like I want to grow to the potential that my parents would have wanted to grow in this country. So I think that's what I've always wanted is growth. And in the next couple of years, I want to have my associate's degree, and even like my end goal is also to start a way to help other like youth as well, because I will always be available. I feel like, and I also have a quick thing to say like to all the youth. I think one thing is always network with other people and ask for help. I feel like don't ever think that you're an island or like you can do it by yourself, because you can't do it by yourself. I thought of that when I was a senior, like my first time. I was like, oh, I can do this all by myself, but you can't. So always reach out to other people such as Jeff or other youth who've done it before, because I feel like having those experiences of other people, you're able to correct things that you might make mistakes of, because there's a lot of mistakes that I've learned from other people that I avoided, and there's a lot of mistakes that I've made that I can help you to avoid. So always look to for role models and other people that have done it before you, because it helps you in like in the end run as well.
Wonderful, 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 Dennis. That is really, really, really very strong advice. And I think I don't know, your time is up, right?
Ah,
Okay, that's fine. We'll talk it now. That I can't even add anything else. You've really, really nailed it the way I would want to hear as a parent, the way I would want to hear as a young person. And I'm sure many people who are listening to you will be able to pick up a very important point from that. Adriana, the question here is, what is the importance of be able to maintaining our heritage, our pride of being African, and being proud of who we are with all the challenges that we are facing every day? What would be your advice on that, especially to our young people, and with all the challenges that we are facing in our daily, current times?
I'm going to have to be honest. Though I am a Black woman, I am born and raised in America, and and both of my parents are both born and raised in America. But I can't really speak on African culture. I've always been fascinated with multiple different countries I'm with multiple different countries in Africa, especially Kenya and Nigeria, to be specific, because I have 2 friends from Kenya, and I just recently met someone from Nigeria. So, so I'm still getting to know her. But I will say I'll speak on my experience as a Black person, and then I'll actually speak on like how they actually struggle and how. So I'll start with them. So they've, because I knew that I was coming here today and coming on this call today, they brought up that one thing that they struggle with is not hiding it, because they both actually did not tell me that they were Kenyan until probably 3 months into our conversations. And when I asked them about it, they were just, well, we didn't know how you felt about it. A common trait between them both, they were afraid to express that because they didn't know how other people would respond. And I would say, as a big piece of advice, don't ever be afraid how other people are going to respond. How Dennis said, you have to be yourself at all times. Like, God gave us, he created us perfectly. God doesn't make mistakes. So the fact that he made us, and like, yes, I sometimes am very envious that I don't speak another language. I'm sometimes like, I wish I was born or had family born in another country and like I spoke another language. But I don't. So I still have to, I'm still me. I'm still good. Like I had to explain, they explained to me and I explained to them, we're still good people. We're still the same people who we are created to be. It's up to us to show that to people. And as I go through just like my daily life as a Black person, I struggle with staying true to myself because I have been raised in all white schools my entire life. And that is a struggle for me. There are some things I won't talk about to certain people because I'm scared they won't understand me or they might no longer want to be friends with me. I thought that in order to, what it meant to be myself was, I have to be like everyone else. That sounds counterintuitive, but it's how I thought. When I was younger and around in middle school, I thought, okay, if I want to be like everyone else, I have to be how other people want to see me. And that's just not the case. One of the greatest lessons I've ever learned is that when you start being your true self, don't be shocked when people start to turn away from you or judge you, or maybe even go as far as to hate on you, because they're realizing that your true self, it's no longer convenient for them. And then that's no longer your problem because you are being your true self. It's just the way that you are. It's no longer convenient for what they want you to do, if that makes sense. And it's very much like you can't stop being you because they're struggling with who you are, because that is no longer a you that is more of a them problem, because they're not struggling with who you are, they're struggling with who they are. Because something along attached to that lesson, it was, if you know who you are, you no longer are like, you no longer judge people when they show their true colors, because you've shown yours, and that's all we can do. We can't be anyone else but ourselves. And so I would say for people who are not like me and are, as everyone else, y'all are from Kenya and have Kenyan heritage, embrace it, love it. I like Dennis said, there are people out there who are, I am fascinated with other cultures and other heritage, like other people's heritage. I find it very fascinating that just to see different parts of the world. My dream is to go, just travel the world and learn about different cultures. So embrace it. it is who you are. It is who you are meant to be. You are meant to be nobody else. So thank you.
That is powerful, Adriana. I love listening to you. I can just listen to you over and over. Those are very, very powerful advice and powerful points. I'm just taking notes as you're speaking, and I'm like, man, I wish I can have you another time and just speak these words. This is very, very encouraging, and I love listening to you. You have a great, full of wisdom. I can't wait to see you in the next 5 years, because I can see the passion of you being the person who really the person who really this country needs in terms of building the unity and helping young people to be able to explore their full potential. So this is very, 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 very encouraging. And there was a question that part of that where I asked Dennis, and I'm going to ask you the same. What are you looking forward to the most in the next phase of your life?
Wow, I've been asked that question so many times this year, and I feel like I keep finding different other things to be looking forward to. There's so many things to look forward to. But the thing that I'm looking forward to, two things I'm looking forward to the most is growing. I'm looking forward to growth in both my spiritual life, like my faith, and my social life, because I feel that in this last semester, senior year, I feel like I've kind of lowered my amount of social life. So I'm looking forward to just growing in those two parts of my life. And then my second thing I'm really looking forward to is exploring the world, meeting new people, and just seeing that there are other places in the world other than Round Rock, Texas. And, and just meeting new people and preparing myself for what's to come, because I didn't mention it earlier, but it's a very powerful thing that I was taught at a very young age, that there are people waiting for you in your future. And if you don't prepare yourself now and don't eliminate what's holding you back, eliminate what's keeping you away from that success and greatness, you're never going to reach those people. And those people are going to be left just like, well, we have to look for someone else now. So people are waiting for you, and you just have to prepare. And so I'm looking forward to preparing myself and being in the right position for those people waiting for me in my future.
Powerful. That is great. I wish I had known you a couple of years back when we were planning to do all this trip. But if you still have time, we have a trip we're planning in August to go to Kenya. So I may reach out to you after this and maybe have a conversation with your parents. Hopefully the COVID will allow us to do that. But we are planning to go to Kenya in August with a couple of students in the audience. We were supposed to do last year. We didn't do it. We do it this year. But we have around 10 to 15 of our young people in high school who now would want to fulfill that dream that you have, that exploring the world and sharing and giving the world what God's made you to do, brought you to do here in this world. And I can't wait to see you, like I said, in the next 5 years, and see the great impact that you will be able to make in this world. I see Rose, and we're gonna have a few questions for people in the audience. Rose Oginga from IHOP, if I see you've raised your hand, I'm gonna give you a few minutes to say something or maybe ask a question.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. I just want to appreciate Adrian. That is a powerful statement right there. Knowing who you are is a very key aspect. My name is Rose Oginga, and I am a founder of ihope.org. It's called International Health Operation Patient Education and Empowerment. What we do is work with youth and women, and I am just thrilled to hear a young person being confident. Being confident is the key thing. I'm impressed also with Dennis, as a young man in this century, It's hard to be you, but
Mm-hmm.
please do not change who you are. Do
Mm-hmm.
not regret a tone of who you are, because who you are is what is gold in you. The moment you let that go and you start copying the rest, then you do not have an identity. So that identity you have is the golden aspect of who you are. So please, guys, embrace it like you have never done it before. Why? It is the only thing that nobody can take away from you. But it will be taken away from you when you do not recognize who you are. So once again, I'm very impressed. Sorry that I'm not able to come on camera. I'm at work, but I'm always thrilled by young people doing their thing. I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. I've just been listening and I'm like, yes, we need this generation. We need
Mm-hmm.
people who look beyond their surrounding. As she said, I have one of my young kids who has gone to school around white kids, and identity can be a little bit of a challenge because of wanting to fit in. Be who you are. You are uniquely placed for there for a purpose, and that purpose will shine if you accept yourself first. So acceptance is a key thing to you, the young people, and anyone who has difficulty knowing who they are. So self-acceptance and confidence are the two things I'll let you guys remember. Self-acceptance, confidence, and uniquely you. Be proud of it. Nobody is like you, and hence you succeed because you are uniquely you. Thank you.
Wow. Well, I think that is really, really good, Ross. I really appreciate you be able to share that and summarize in the best way. I can't put it better than that. And also encouraging. I appreciate all the great work you're doing, also with the young people in Florida. And we hope that we can continue to connect with this group so that they can be able to learn from each other.
One more thing, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Jeff, there is something that those who are about to finish college in this forum, if they have their sibling, they can get in touch with you or me so that we give them an opportunity to learn non-IT programs like Agile. Many people do not know that there is an option or an opportunity, as Adrian is wanting to do that nursing. I'm a nurse, Adrian. Are you ready for the headache? Just saying. So think about it. There are other options, and you can make good finances. So if you're interested, look me up. We can give you a hint and just redirect you to think an option. Thank you.
Definitely, that would be a good resource. We believe in resource exposure to our young people, and I think anything that would benefit our young people would definitely go for it. Thank you so much, and I will reach out to you. I will open up this opportunity to anybody who has a question or a parent or a comment. This is your time, and I think I have Arinola. I have young people. I see Louise, Mercy, Maurice. If you have a question, go ahead, please. Or a comment.
No question. I just wanted to say thank you for all the insight on your experiences and your regrets. It was very, very appreciated and it's very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that comment. Anybody else? There's a question in the chat. What year was the hardest for you, Adriana?
I'm going to be very honest. It is your senior year. The last part of the race is always the hardest. The last part is always the hardest. So you really have to stay confident and true to yourself, and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. My light's coming in 9 days. So it's going to be the last year. I thought it was my junior year, and that's only because COVID hit in the last semester, but it really is the final stretch of the race is going to be the hardest.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, Adriana had not seen your text, so I just saw it. That I apologize for that. So I think with that, we are so grateful, and we normally put it up to 1:15. I think we went over. Thank you so much for your information tips that you have given us. That was from John. Thank you so much. And for everybody in the audience, if you have final thoughts, Adriana, I don't want to keep you long. I know you have another meeting.
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I really hope I helped a lot of you guys.
Absolutely, you did awesome. Like I said, I should have known you 5 years ago. You are a great resource, and you are a person that I really want to invite you over and over again. I think with that, Arinola, I'll let you give us a vote of thanks, and then we'll just come to an end.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Adrian, I know Dennis probably has jumped on another thing he's doing. He's not online right now. We want to appreciate you guys and appreciate everyone who logged on. Our young ones are here and the parents. You know, I was listening and I was just, wow, I'm telling you, Adrian and Dennis, you both took my breath away. I was amazed that even as parents, just things that we do not know and we are learning from your perspective. You know, Dennis said something so powerful earlier that, you know, he wasn't really active in the school club. And I know as African parents, sometimes we have our concerns and fears in allowing our kids to go to all this dance and things because of what we've heard that goes on. But just understanding that, look, taking part in those things and being responsible about it can build your network and social skills. And I wish there were more parents here to hear you guys. You've done really well. I'm glad my daughter is here listening as well with other young people. And I just want to thank you. Thank you so much. We would like to have you back as future mentors. Yes. And please stay close. Stay close. You are going to do great. And best wishes in your future endeavors. We are here to support you. Anything you need, just reach out to us. Okay? It's a continued partnership. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Jeffrey, for putting this on.
Thank you so much, Arinola. And thank you, everyone who logged in for the time we were here. Just to mention that we have our summer camp focusing on life skills. We are putting a very good program. We're putting on June 7 to June 14. I mean, June 7 to June 11. Primarily focusing on life skills, what everybody has just talked about today. More information will be shared to you on the chat and the email. Other than that, I hope that whatever you have heard from Adriana, Dennis, and all the speakers today will be a key pillar to build the person that you want to be in the next couple of years. Take those advice and try to implement. And you can't go wrong with that. Thank you so much and have a nice weekend.